Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Miguel, and this is the Didn't Anyone Mention podcast. What do you have for me today?
I guess, yeah.
Well, you kind of know what I have for you today. I asked for, I don't have Reddit. Miguel does. So I had him look up some stuff for me. Or try to get some stories for me. We like getting first-hand encounters off of Reddit, so I guess if you're on there, you can find us. More likely commenting, or like asking, like, have you heard of this? And who knows, you might just get sneak peeks to what the week is going to be, but...
Oh, yeah, that is true. I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah, so, but we are in March.
Yeah.
So, if anybody knows, I usually like trying to do something associated to the month. And it's St. Patrick's Day this month.
They kiss you.
What?
They kiss you.
They kiss you. You think I'm just going to talk about leprechauns?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm actually going to tell you where St. Patrick's Day came from.
Oh.
And leprechauns. So, let's see here. I mean, do you have any guess of where St. Patrick's Day came from?
My guess is St. Patrick.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
You know that he actually never was, like, recognized as a saint, technically, in the Catholic Church, yeah.
What was he?
A
martyr.
A martyr. No, not a martyr.
No, a martyr.
Oh, a martyr.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that means, but I think in old-time movies people say...
He was a martyr.
Yeah, he was a martyr.
Well, if you want to even guess, Christianity, my man. That's why we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Yep.
So I might be getting ahead of ourselves here, or ahead of myself. Is it Irish?
Yeah.
It is an Irish holiday.
Yes. So he was in Irish, yes. Or in Ireland, sorry.
Okay.
Recording. Yeah, we're trying a new thing out in the morning. We're recording, and it's just a little different.
Instead of late at night. Yeah, it's a little weird.
Yeah, I mean, happy daylight savings to y'all. Hopefully, this daylight savings is always harder. Because you're losing an hour. In the fall, you gain an hour.
That's true.
So, best of luck to y'all. Best of luck to y'all with kids. Good luck. So, but I'm just going to call him St. Patrick, but he was born in Great Britain and near the end of the 4th century. So, just a few years ago, yeah. He was believed to have died on March 17th. So that's where like the St. Patrick's like date comes from. Around 406 AD. At the age of 6, so not at the age of 16, I'm just going to flash back to 16 is when Patrick's life like completely changed. He was taken prisoner by a group of Irish raiders when he was in Great Britain. He was taken from his family. They were like attacking his family's estate, like their house, their land, and they took him. So they took him and they took him to Ireland. So he was spent 6 years in captivity, like, you know, you can imagine how that is. Being like held captive from, raiders.
This is very different than I imagined already.
No, I already was like, wait, what? But he had a vision. He said he had a vision. Like from what I understand, like an actual vision, not like, oh, I really want to do this. Like, this is my goal. No, like, he's like, that's so Raven.
Saw it all happening.
Yeah. That he wanted to help the people of Ireland. So he became a Catholic priest. So I don't know if that's why they're like, oh my gosh, this guy was taken by these people. And then he wants to help them. And I'm like, I mean, he's just making them learn what he wants them to learn.
Or he was smart and he was like, what's the one position I can have where nobody's going to hurt me?
I don't know. But Catholicism and Christianity was taking over at this time.
Oh.
So he was trying to do that. He was trying to clean Ireland of paganism.
Dude.
Bro.
Pagan is an old religion, isn't it?
It's like because it's like Christianity. It kind of covers a couple things.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just think what was believed before Christianity a lot was like a lot of what we call now is lore or mythology, but like that was actually what they believed in. Like these like creatures, gods, blah blah blah.
And then the
But
Crusades really put in some
yeah,
work,
but then like history happened to where they're like, dude, no, there's only one, so you need to stop. Like you're just making this stuff up.
Oh, and that's what the Crusades were?
That's what, from
and
what I
it
understand.
changed history forever.
Yeah, changed it so much. And then I was even thinking about it, like, how, like, that's just so crazy, because...
It is crazy.
Yeah. How do you even... Talk about some work.
Dude, they really put in the legwork. Yeah, they talk about the A-Team.
Yeah.
They changed history.
Yeah, could you imagine being a missionary then? Jeez.
Gosh, yeah. And you were truly going to unexplored lands.
Yeah, like, genuinely, like, nobody has ever been there before. Like, that's crazy.
That is wild.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of how a lot of ancient Native American and Indian culture has somebody coming down from the gods all around the world. Mm-hmm. And there's always a flood in there. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody coming down that gives them knowledge.
There's so many things that if you look at every single like continent and every single country,
things happen.
Everything's the same. Like you can find a correlation with everything.
And it's nuts.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why we don't talk about it more.
I know.
It's like crazy.
It was off of... We also watched that one Netflix documentary on
Ancient Aliens.
Ancient
That touches on it, but that was mainly off of a theory about 14,000 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, that theory was like... blew my mind.
It was good, huh?
Yeah, so if you guys are kind of into that stuff...
It's Ancient Apocalypse.
Ancient Apocalypse. Yeah. I was like, aliens. I don't remember them talking about aliens. But yeah, Ancient Apocalypse. That was pretty darn good. That was good. So, then you guys can see what we're kind of talking about. And if you guys have listened to plenty of our episodes, then yeah, you guys are like, dang, this is like flashback.
You're like, these guys keep talking about the same shit. Move on.
But apparently, a lot of the same stuff has the same origin. But he said he was cleaning up paganism. The shamrock, some people say like that he did that, but there's no actual like evidence that he like use shamrocks. So I don't know.
Shamrock's just a clover, right?
That's clovers. They were like saying that he used clovers to help spread the word, but he didn't write about that. There's not like, it's just like hearsay. I don't think. I think
just kind of were like, this is you.
I just think that people were trying to find a correlation and just like, but he like, because he wrote about all his stuff and he just never wrote about like that. So, but there's like a lot of depictions of like him like running all the snakes out of Ireland. Mm-hmm. But like I think that's just like a symbolism thing, like sinning, stuff like that. He was trying to get rid of all of it. The first day we ever celebrated here actually we weren't even America yet, but it was the 13 colonies. It was 1737. That was the first St. Patrick's Day.
Really?
Yeah, and it was put on by like the Irish Society. But I don't know if anybody knows what was happening back in the melting pot back in the day. But it was a little rough. From what I was told, it was xenophobia. I don't know if you know what that is.
Isn't that just racism?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just a fancy word for that.
Damn, that sounds way cooler.
I know.
I'm xenophobic. Yeah, no, people will be like, oh, that's very good for you. You're so brave.
I know. You're so brave living with that every day. But, so not everybody, and I think we've even, like, touched on this, I bet, in school and history. Irish folks were not super... people did not like them.
Yeah, they were slaves for a long time.
People were, like, scared. Like, I don't know why they were scared of them, but people did not like the Irish. So this was a part of, like, trying to make their heritage more fun and more accepting and all that stuff to make them seem more... What?
There was another group of people that did the same thing that we talked about on this podcast.
Oh, did we? I'm trying to think of what it is.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Continue on.
Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. People, like, a lot of Irish people were getting hurt, so they tried to make St. Patrick's Day more of a celebration of the heritage and wanted to include the other people of the America, or, like, the colonies. So that's why they did it. Because I'm pretty sure America wasn't founded until, like, I want to say 70-something. 1770-something.
That America?
Yeah.
You don't know in America?
I just know.
1776, baby.
1776? Dude, did I not just say that?
If that's wrong, I'm very sorry. But I'm pretty confident.
Well, let's just look at it then.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Yeah, Miguel's right.
Yeah, back-to-back champ.
Yeah, 1776. So, yeah, it was like 40 years before we even became like an actual country that we've been celebrating St. Patrick's Day.
Interesting.
Yeah, and over time, like, it became like an actual like federal like recognized holiday, but it was just like a celebration every single day or every single March 17th, and yeah, people celebrated by wearing green.
Oh, I remember.
Shamrocks / clovers. Like, I mean, some people go all out for it. So
it's a weird holiday to go crazy on. And I guess if you're Irish.
Yeah, if you're Irish for sure. My aunt was born on St. Patrick's Day, and she loves it. She just like takes it on. She always paints a 4-leaf clover on her cheek, and it's always so cute.
Dude, just imagine like it's your birthday, you want to go out for St. Patrick's Day, try to get a free drink. You're like, it's my birthday today, but there's like millions of people out drinking.
Yeah. Funny story. We talked about it a couple things ago. It's during Lent. Technically, St. Patrick was Catholic. Catholicism. They technically got a free pass on St. Patrick's Day.
Really?
That's why it also got so crazy. Like drinking, like the beer and all that stuff.
Wow.
That's like...
to commemorate old St. Patty.
Yeah. So they were like, this is the one day to celebrate St. Patrick. And like...
Has Lent started already?
Yeah, Lent, I think your mom actually told us. I think it started, she said, right after Valentine's Day.
Right? That's so long, but...
And it goes till Easter.
No.
Or, yeah, Easter, I'm pretty sure she said.
Yeah. I gave up,
I'm trying to think of anything I haven't had a lot lately. I mean, we've done really good about, like, eating better, but besides that, I mean, it's better, not the best.
Yeah. I guess I gave up eating an entire bag of chips in one sitting.
There you go.
What's up?
You're changed, man. I can already see the difference.
Dude, I know.
You're going to heaven.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. In Ireland, leprechauns, they don't care. They're like...
They don't like leprechauns?
Well, no, they're just like, cool, leprechauns. Americans, they're like, yo, there's leprechauns. They freaking go crazy for those suckers. So, that's fun.
They even have cereals named after them.
Yeah, Lucky Charms.
And a scary movie after them.
Yes. America loved them. There's actually a book called Darby O'Gill and the Good People. It helped with a lot of like the discrimination towards Irish folk, but it was like a book that a lot of people had read and helped with that discrimination to like lessen it. And it was based, I guess, off a leprechaun, or it had a leprechaun in the story, and then America, it was like leprechauns. So that correlation began, and then it's just, you know, I mean, how much do we spend on Christmas? How much do we spend on Valentine's Day? It's just like marketing, right? Like, it's, people made it bigger and they have more stuff for it, and they gotta have stuff on that stuff. So,
wow.
Leprechauns, right? And I'm gonna go into a little bit of history of leprechauns, but they actually wore more red than green.
The blood of their enemies.
Yeah, the blood of their slain.
Seriously. That's crazy, because in everything I see them in green.
Yep. Nope, they actually were more in red than, if anything. So, we keep talking about little people around the world.
Dude, it's weird how much they come up.
I know, so that's why that's what I have on St. Patrick's Day. I didn't go super into it, but I was like, leprechauns, like, let me see what I can find on these, you know, because we just have covered them, and how crazy is it that they just show up everywhere?
It almost makes you wonder.
I know, because they're mythical, they're like kind of fairy-ish, they're not, but we'll go into that. We're going all the way back to the 8th century, so it's actually after St. Patrick was born, so that's kind of interesting. But leprechauns were Irish folklore who hide treasures. They are usually small.
It's real.
Yeah, so they're usually small, agile, usually blah, blah, I'm combining words, male, and fairies, so, or goblins, and they normally guard a pot of gold. Like I said, they already kind of were known for dressing red and green, which was kind of weird that we only see them in green, but whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, maybe he was celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, they're like, this is actually a Christmas. We're actually still celebrating Christmas, you guys. And they're usually old, wrinkly, ugly. They're pretty gnarly. They're sour-tempered, gloomy. They're not
like the Lucky Charms guy.
Yeah, they're not Lucky Charms kind of guy.
They're like Fucky Charms.
Fuck you up charms. That's what they are. But they also in history have been told that they will make shoes and hide their gold in them. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just confused. But also, we always hear there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yes, every time.
And that is...
go looking, bro.
It's because how there's never an actual end of a rainbow.
I know.
That's why that came up. Because what a better place to hide your gold than where nobody's going to find it. Because it's non-existent.
Imagine finding one.
Dude. I mean, see you later. I'm going on a trip. Getting scratchers. No, I'm joking. And they're not very nice. They're pretty mischievous is the nicest word I can find for that. But they live in a lot of solidarity, and they want, like, that just kind of makes them, like, a little, grouchy on themselves. They just, like, live all by themselves. They don't, like, live in colonies, from what I understand. They're like, solos.
Solo leprechauns, huh? Braving the wilderness. That'd make me grouchy for sure.
Yeah. They're extremely hard to catch as well. So people have, like, tried to catch them because it's said that you can either get wishes or they'll give you their pot of gold, but you can't ever let them out of your sight because, like, they're nasty little buggers, so they'll get out of your... So you have to, like, catch them, and you'd have to just look at them and, okay, give me your pot of gold, and, like, never blink, practically. Like, you gotta keep an eye on that sucker. So...
Or what'll happen?
Or he'll get away and just be maybe your personal nemesis for a little bit.
He'll just go after you?
He'll just be... They're just, like, more... They're not, like, gonna... From what I understand, I've never seen anything, like, to kill.
I don't know. I think that's why they wear red. They can't stain their uniform.
They can't stain their uniform. No, they, like, they're just mischievous. Like, they'll just, like, prank you. They'll just...
Take your shoelaces off your shoe.
They'll take your... Yeah, or they'll tie them together. Or they'll put a rock in the... Like, you'll just step on a rock. Or
let the air out of your tires.
Yeah.
Just enough so the tire sensor goes off.
Yeah. Like, that's exactly what they would do. They're, like, pooping chocolate chips or something.
They poop in perfect milk drop shapes.
I don't know, but they'd just be little pranksters.
They'll mist your pillow so it's a little damp.
You're like, what is this?
You're like, gosh, dang it.
Put the faucet on just to drip.
Yeah, just drip at night times all years. What?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts.
That would drive me crazy. They share a lot of characteristics with Irish Celtic and other European mythology, but since the 19th century, it's more recognizable for just Irish folklore. So that's why it's like, it goes into religion later, and then it changes into folklore. Like, it's not real.
Interesting.
Which is so weird. Scholars actually learn that the word leprechaun comes from ancient Irish, like a Celtic god, Lu. It's Lugh. Just Lu. Lu. He was the god of sun and light, and he was a part of, like, this group that was supposed to have like protected Ireland, but I cannot remember the name to save my life, and I didn't write it down because I knew I would mess it up so bad. But it was like kind of like Greek mythology, where it was like, you know, they have like all the gods that team up and like protect the world or whatever. It's the same kind of concept. Like they were trying to, it's their Irish Celtic belief of they had like the, you know, maybe the water and fire, you know, these different gods that all teamed up together to help protect Ireland. And like, you know, then people came in, took over Ireland, like outside invaders, and they drove all of these gods underground, and they all shrunk because they were like not being worshipped or being, you know.
And that's what the leprechauns
are? And then they shrunk, yeah, and they live in these burrows, like these hills. They live in there.
Like the Teletubbies.
Yes, literally like the Teletubbies.
Oh my god.
But they think Lou is the like direct origin of that.
What about Lala? I'm just kidding.
Well, now that we've discussed the Teletubbies,
yeah, we needed to. It was really just weighing down on my mind.
It really was. But we've already talked about it, where pretty much these gods died off when Christianity took over. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a bummer. But maybe I'll have to go more into some of those other gods or anything, because I mean, it was pretty interesting to find.
Yeah,
that they just like kind of went under. They like pretty much forced them underground, which is like a figure of speech and I guess more taken literal as well. So,
better place to hide.
I mean, why not? You know, it looks like a house. Might as well just carve into it, live in there. Just lift up the patch of grass and throw it back down. They're like, why is this one patch of grass dead?
I think I found Teletubby land.
I know. There's a giant baby in the sky.
That's the sun god. That's Lou.
Oh my gosh. But apparently that's like where forgotten gods live, like in Irish Celtic belief. Leprechauns are... I mean, that's about it on leprechauns. That's pretty much what I have for leprechauns. But Miguel did find a story from Reddit about someone who maybe had an encounter of a leprechaun. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a shorter story, and I'm not saying these stories are 100% real. Somebody definitely could be trolling us. But
yeah, you never... I mean, either way...
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. You know what? Maybe it's maybe he's just like an inspiring author.
Maybe.
You never know. But we'll just read it. So we're just going to read off what he has to say. They are very alien to behold. I don't really know what that means, but very small, 3 feet tall at most. A blunt nose, large round ears, hairy but not fur. Okay. They're like got a lot of testosterone. The one I got to know loved to trade but had no sense of value. He probably thought the same thing about me. Oh, so he's like, yo, my buddy Leppy over here.
Buddy Leppy.
My buddy Leppy. I met him fishing. Well, if you come back.
I guess I'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
I hope.
Oh, they couldn't communicate. But name sounded like Mashmoon. I called him Mamoon. They are incredibly fast. I'm talking blink of an eye fast. I felt like he would only move when I blink, but he could cover 5 to 10 paces in that time. He seemed to prefer to only move while he was blinking. So
it's like Five Nights at Freddy, dude.
Yeah, that's it is like that. I was trying to think of the name of the game. And he said it was pretty unsettling at first. Understandably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you on that one, bub.
Yeah. He really valued shiny things and fish and loved to hum songs. Okay. So he just doesn't know what language he was speaking. He says he couldn't communicate with him, so I don't know.
I mean, I think music's universal.
Yeah,
no
so
matter
you just
who
go,
you are.
He liked fishing lures, bullets, coins, knives, necklaces, and rings. He also liked matches, lighter, and beer.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Didn't care for cigarettes. He would always hum or... he would always hum a certain melody when he saw fire. Okay. If I lit a smoke or started a fire, he would always hum the same tune. He would bring me a bunch of old junk. Bones. So we're starting off with bones, okay? Rusted cans, old pieces of rotten leather, shredded plastic bags. He thought I would want it, I guess. I always accepted it graciously and would give him whatever coins I had in my pocket or something out of my tackle box, and a few fish, of course. We would trade often over the course of one summer. One day he never came back to our spot. I left things out for him, but he never returned. My gifts were there weeks later. It's been 40 years and I never saw one since. So, like, I feel like that's a good, like, little story of it. Because they're not really, like, kill us. They aren't gonna, like, do anything crazy. They just want to have shiny things.
I mean, so do birds.
I know, not more than 3 feet tall. I mean, that's teeny tiny. Are you sure it wasn't like a child? Like, only humming?
I mean, rounded ears and some fur. Yeah, an interesting child.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was like, what?
Who's your daddy?
It's during the summer. He's like, during the fall, I'm like, oh man, this kid's Halloween costume got taken to the next level.
Your Curious George costume is sweet, kid.
Yeah, but that's a story that we had. Didn't quite hear anything else. I guess if you have leprechaun stories, let us know. But what did you think of St. Patrick's Day and leprechauns?
I can't believe they didn't teach us that he was tortured or removed from his house.
Yeah, he was taken from his house.
He was
at
in prison
16.
at 16, imprisoned in some foreign land, became a priest, and he died for our holiday.
He died for our holiday. Thank St. Patrick.
Thanks, St. Patrick.
Yeah.
So if you're out on St. Patrick's Day, you're wondering what it's all about, now you know.
Dude, low-key, he's just taking the hype off of Jesus.
Yeah.
This is his month.
Yeah, just relieving his shoulders a bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, Easter is when, like, he died, right?
Yeah. I think we changed his name.
What?
From St. Patrick to... sorry. St. Patty to St. Batty.
I mean, he was a baddie. But I also wonder... He's like, I had a vision. And I'm like, did they, like, beat you into having a vision? Or, like, also, like, they're just like, oh, you want to be a priest? Go for it, dude. We believe in you. Like, what?
Maybe...
They just, like, let him go? They're like, oh, yeah, you can go preach your gospel to somebody else.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of this episode. But Sam and I are just going to continue to talk about the episode. So thank you for listening.
Yeah.
But we're just going to ramble on for a little bit. It reminds me of like a Greek culture, like the oracles.
Oh,
Who decided you were an oracle?
I know. That's like...
You're just like...
Also, like, having... It's always... I feel like you always see it in, like, movies and stuff. People are like, oh, I have visions. But they're just literally just making you do stuff that they want done.
Yeah.
They're
and
like,
think about how easily you could be manipulated.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, imagine this, dude. You're like 14. You guess something's going to happen. And then everybody's like, you're a fucking oracle. And
I know.
And then all of a sudden you just have this power.
They have intuition.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, I mean... I don't know about you guys, but movies, sometimes they're pretty darn predictable. It's all the same story over and over again. I feel like it's just different twists.
Imagine you're an oracle, you're like, oh,
I'm like,
it's cloudy
this
outside.
is going to happen in the movie. And people are like, what?
I know.
That's like, I mean, they're like, it's cloudy outside, and you're like, it's going to rain. It rained.
You are God. What else?
Or people have a baby, and they're like, it's going to be a boy. You got a 50-50 chance. So they're like, oh my God.
Dude, yeah. What?
Just chances. I feel like it's just like...
What did people go to an oracle for? It was like...
It was
everything.
for a mission, too.
A mission?
Like, they're like, meaning, I guess.
Oh.
Oracles were like for the future, and also like if something was gonna happen, like because a lot of Greek mythology has like people who go on like missions to like to do like to like help the greater good, right? So she would tell you like, oh, like this is how it's gonna happen, or like not how it's gonna happen, but like this is what you need to do, stuff like that.
I wonder if the Oracle was in cahoots with the main democracy.
I feel like it was like almost the Oracle was like possessed almost. Like it was like a spirit speaking through her, I feel like.
That's what people thought?
I think that's what,
oh,
from what I understand,
that
that's what
makes
I would
sense.
make more of an Oracle.
Dude.
Which I could see something like that.
Would you rather be an Oracle or a warrior?
An Oracle, dude.
Okay.
I'll tell you to go do my stuff.
Would you rather be a vineyard farmer? Is that what they're called?
A vineyarder.
A vineyarder. Or
I totally just made that up. I don't know.
Be a baker in that time.
Vineyarder.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody wanting some wine?
Yeah.
Who do you think the Oracle of the modern day is?
Long Island Medium. Just kidding.
Dude, you know the videos that I think are just so funny? Are these freaking... They're like influencers. They're like these male influencers that they consider themselves the alpha, right? And they have like... They're rich or whatever. And they're always like, I wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. and as I get ready, I listen to an audiobook about business, double speed. I'm like, that's fucking stupid, first of all. And he's like, while I'm running, double speed. And it's just like, and then while I do that, I also make my breakfast while running.
You think those are oracles?
No, I think they're freaking dumb. It's just so stupid.
Just thought
like, have you ever
like, where
actually...
did you get to that? We were just talking about oracles. How did you just...
I think they are an oracle.
Oh, okay.
I think they're like,
it's like
people have to live like me. But it's like, if you really think about what they're saying, they're kind of fucking dumb. Like, have you ever read a book in double speed?
Okay.
Or tried to hear a book?
High school students that do that now?
Double speed books?
They double speed books.
There's no way.
Yes.
You have to literally be doing nothing.
Dude, I know somebody who listens at books either double or triple speed, and she can tell you what happens.
Well, maybe I'm dumb then. Because I get to double speed.
She's also a freaking genius, though. Like, I swear. That girl is like... She's big brain.
Okay, well, maybe some people can do it. But... I can't. I listen to double speed and I'm like, dude.
I feel like if you're bragging about double speed, then you're kind of dumb. Yeah. Like, she never bragged. I was just like, how did you finish that book so fast? She's like, oh, well, I listened to it. I'm like, it's like a 7-hour book. She's like, oh, well, I listened to it on double speed. I'm like, what?
I don't get it. Because I don't know. I also think that's part of, like, our attention span. Mm-hmm. Like going away. Mm-hmm. People have to do something every second. Like you rarely find people just sitting down for 5 minutes, like not looking at their phone, not doing anything, not actively doing something.
I find myself doing it all the time.
It's wild, isn't it?
I know. I catch myself. I'm like, oh, why did I do that?
Dude, it was the weirdest thing when I deleted all my social media. Like how much, on average, I think people look at their phones 360 times a day. Just reach for it. Jeez. On average, a day. Jeez. And it's just like. Think about that.
Oh, one of my friends, she sent me a Snapchat. She was like, dude, I'm addicted to my phone. Right now, I'm on Facebook looking at my dentist wife's Facebook. What have I become? I was like, she's like, I'm just scrolling. Just scroll. I'm like, dude, it's true though. You just kind of get addicted to it and you just scroll to scroll. Like, you just are looking at stuff to look at stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
And half the stuff is just like lies.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like... I think there's a lot to it.
It's not like people anything beneficial, also.
That's the thing. It's not beneficial. People put up these fake lives. One of those influencers they were talking about, he was saying, I know an influencer that has like a couple million followers, and she lives this life of traveling and luxury, but after the phone gets put away, she has to give her clothes back. Because she's not going anywhere. She rented those clothes. And it's just like, imagine living that life. And
I feel like you would just feel like an imposter all the time.
Yeah, dude. And it's one of the most sought after jobs in high school right now is to be an influencer. Like, kids want to be influencers.
I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy?
Maybe I just know the different side of high schoolers.
Maybe.
Because, dude, some of the high schoolers, they're like, yeah, I'm going into neuroscience, and like, yeah, I'm going to do this, like, science. And I'm like, what? I was like, bro, cool. I'm just trying to graduate. Like, that's how I was.
Yeah. But, I mean, those are a select few. But
there's
a study done, and the majority of them want to be influencers. Like, that's their dream job.
Well, also think about trying to make money, living at home. Like, that's also the other conversation of how being, like, prices, people not having kids, stuff like that. But people who do have kids, it used to be both parents are working. Realistically, childcare and everything costs so much. Like, you're working to just pay for that childcare.
Well, dude, it used to be one parent could work.
Exactly.
And you could live off that, like...
Oh, you could buy a house, you could do anything. And now it's like, no, unless both of you work, like, you are just going to be scraping.
And then BlackRock, dude, Vanguard, they got together...
Conspiracy
and
hole.
They're like, fellas, they sat around their round table, drinking out of their golden cups. They said, fellas, I have a great idea. What if I told you 50% of the labor market is untapped? Bam. Women started working. Mm-hmm. That's all it took.
Dang. I was seeing a meme of it was like, daylight savings. And it was back in fall though. It was like, I hope we fall back enough to when women didn't work. Like we spring back or fall back.
Oh, nice.
An hour. They're like, I hope we fall all the way back to it. Women don't work.
I don't know.
But it's just like, I don't even say it just has to be women who stay home. Like if like
I think everybody should have the opportunity to work, right?
Yeah.
But you should be able to run a household, live a life off one income.
Yeah.
I think that's fair for everybody.
Yeah.
Because some of these child care facilities, yeesh.
Well, also they're like 5 to 1. 5 to 1.
Yeah, imagine having 5 little babies.
Yeah, and like it's 5 to 1 of the same age. Or young.
That's nuts.
So that's like, people are like, oh, well, I have 5 kids. Yeah, your kids are all spread out over time.
You have a 10-year-old that'll help you.
Yeah, you have a 10-year-old, or an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old, and then you have a 6-month-old. Well, yeah, that's going to be significantly different than having 3 or 5 5-year-olds or 5, could you imagine?
An army.
I think it's, for infants, I think it's 2 or 3, but still.
Yeah.
So, that's crazy.
It is wild. I think a lot of the stuff happening now, it's like a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and some of the issues that are pretty hot topics right now, they call them privilege problems. So, for example, like the border, right? People are talking about, or not even the border, let's talk about policing, right? People are saying defund the police, yada, yada, yada. You have these politicians saying defund the police, they're bad, they're crooked, right? As they go into their gated police community, gated neighborhood that nobody's allowed into, right? So that's like a privilege problem. Mm-hmm. And so they're so disconnected.
Yeah.
And it's just getting worse and worse year after
year.
I know.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff will be like, oh, you're an influencer, or oh, you're like a celebrity, and you're talking about, oh, I can't even make dinner for $5, and you're like, you don't even understand, like, you can't, like, some people have to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, also, it was just like, it was weird, like, there's been like interview, like, it's just like they're trying to like get in touch, but they're just still off. Like, you're still not hitting the mark.
I don't know. Yeah, it's such a wild time to be here.
It is a wild time.
It's such a wild time.
I know. It is crazy, but you know what? They're just making the most of it. At this point, who was it? Somebody was telling me, like, it's kind of scary out here. And I was like, yeah. I think it was when I was working, like, with a customer or something. And she's like, yeah, like, it's kind of crazy out here. And I was like, yeah. I'm just kind of trying to, you know, Just let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. She's like, same. I'm just living my life. I mean, whatever happens, it's not like I can really change it. I'm just one person, so might as well make the best of it. And I was like, preach it. Like at this point, like, I'm gonna not make it worse, but like, I'm, some 20-something-year-old gal just hanging out, and realistically, like, I know that's sometimes a bad mentality, but
no, I mean,
but even then, like, I don't have that. I guess it's also, we don't have that money. Money gives you everything here.
Yeah, how do you stop a machine that's been operating for over 300 years?
Yeah, exactly.
To keep people down and them up. Like, how do you stop that?
Uh-huh.
Got my tinfoil hat on right now. There was another conspiracy that I want to bring up off of another podcast. This was a Theo Von one. He did a podcast with the border patrol chief, and he said something. He was like, "All right, Theo, let's get our tinfoil hats on." Right? He was talking about last year alone there was 2.2 million illegal immigrants coming into the U.S., but they all got government assistance. They all got funding, right? So their tinfoil hat was that when you have illegal immigrants here that benefit off of a certain party, you're almost enslaving them into that ideology.
Oh, right? Like you're like pretty much like getting those votes and getting those people. Yeah. Right. But they can't vote, can they? Can you vote when you're not a citizen? You're
not supposed to.
Oh, but technically.
I want to say that you could probably still vote, but I know there's some states that you have to have an ID. So like Idaho is one of those states.
Yeah.
I think definitely the more Republican states, you have to have an ID.
Oh. Curious.
It's nutty, huh?
That is crazy. I mean, yeah,
you're not gonna bite the hand that feeds you.
Well, yeah, I think that's also like we're going back into like even religion. Like that's like why like a lot of like churches and stuff are like have lots of kids, have them all, because then you're just raising them from the ground up. In that, so then that's just gonna be more. They're like have more kids, have more stuff. Like I mean, it just makes sense.
I can see that. I can see it. What do you think caused the main drive to leave religion these days? Like, I feel like growing up, faith was really high. Like, people had faith all over. Like, everybody had a religion that they were not assigned to, but followed.
I think there's a lot of info out there. There's a lot more facts. There's a lot more knowledge.
And you think that makes people leave?
I think it just makes people more open to more ideas.
Fair enough.
Because think about like religion was so big, like it's just getting less and less, and it's like the more technology and the more science and the more like discoveries that we've made. I feel like because like when back in when we were just talking about like St. Patrick's Day.
What you got is what you got.
Yeah, what you got is what you got, and you just kind of have to have blind faith and hope for the best kind of a thing. But now like even thinking about like crops. Like now we know like, oh, there's not enough nutrients in the soil, or like because of this or because of that or whatever, like the sun, blah, blah, blah. Like we know how to fix problems there, like scientifically and like factually. When before it was like, we didn't make the gods happy enough. So our land didn't grow. Like that was like, now we know why stuff doesn't grow.
And you think that's the main drop-off for religion?
I'm just saying I think we just know more now. And before, we didn't know how to explain it, so why not believe in faith? That's what I think.
Interesting. That's an interesting take.
But what do you think then?
I think it would be along the same lines, but I don't know if that has I think you can still believe in science and have faith.
I think so too. I just think some people don't always know how to do both.
Yes.
And it's also, I'm trying to think. I also think it's also like parenting styles. Parenting styles have changed. Generations have changed.
And also, let's all agree on one thing. Universally, church is boring. Like, who wants to do that Sunday? Like,
yeah, let's make it like fun.
Yeah, you're like, this party sucks.
I know, because you're just listening to one person talk the entire time.
I know. This party sucks. Yeah. I'm not coming back.
You know what I could do? I could, like, make it a podcast. I'll listen to it during the week, you know? Like,
dude, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll start a religion. Because that's apparently what people can do these days.
I know, Cthulhu, you know? No, joking.
The cult.
The cult.
If you're listening, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Oh my goodness.
But,
well,
all right.
If you listen this far, you guys have a beautiful day.
Yeah, thanks for listening to us ramble. See you guys on the next one.
See ya.